Hello everyone, it is just before 1 o'clock on Saturday in Berkeley, California. We just had a hailstorm and now it's sunny. So today I want to talk to you about the 7 steps of centering, and that's because if I were only allowed to teach one thing, it would be this. And I use this for everything. I use the 7 steps of centering for getting deeper into my technique, for getting more into my expression, definitely for dealing with performance. Before every single piece, I will do a quick centering. So I'm going to teach you how to do that today. So it's actually a very simple process, even though it has 7 steps. Each of these steps leads on logically to the other. And eventually you'll be able to memorize these. But for right now, don't worry about memorizing them. Just start getting them into your consciousness. So with the 7 steps of centering, the very first thing that you're going to do is to establish a mind's eye focal point. So by mind's eye, I don't mean you're actually looking at something. It's something that's in your mind's eye that you can go to. And the reason we want to do that is that when we're doing anything, whether it's performing or working on your technique, what you want to do is make sure that you're focused. And by being focused, you're bringing in just that consciousness that you need for that moment. I'm sure many of you have had the experience of performing and suddenly it just seems like there are a million distractions. Everything seems really loud, and every little noise is huge, every movement is huge. And instead what you want to do is bring in that focus to what it is that you can control. So examples of what people use as their focal point in their mind's eye, I've heard people focus on an image that is one they can go to and feel so great in. So sometimes it's a beach, that's a very popular one, a stream, something from nature. Other people use parts of their body. They focus in on their heart. Suddenly they're all about their heart. Others, I've heard, their ears. So they're really focusing on ears. You could also use the strings of your harp. So I'm looking at my harp right here, this one. And so when you're focusing in on the strings, it's like everything else has disappeared and all you are about is just those strings. So whatever it is that your focal point is, pick that. And it's almost like putting on blinders or blinkers, depends where you're from, what term you use. So you start in like that. Try on a few different focal points because you may find something works even better for you. So experiment with that. Okay, the next thing that you do is that you visualize a positive outcome. Now, what does that mean for musicians? That means I see myself playing with fluency. I see myself playing with power. I see myself playing with confidence. And when you do that, it makes it so much more likely for it to actually happen. And notice that you say positive things to yourself. You wouldn't say something like, I visualize myself not being tense, because all you hear is tense. So always a positive association that you have. And you start hearing your song, already you're dealing with your artistry. You're hearing the song the way that you want to play it, your ideal way of interpreting it for you. So that's step number 2. Step number 1, focal point. Step 2, start visualizing what it is you're going to do in a positive way. Now, step number 3, you're going to love. Breathe. Just breathe. As harpists, we can really get into this kind of a feeling, right? And so instead, what you're going to do is concentrate on that deep breathing. It's going to calm you down. It's going to give more... Thank you, Becky! You're going to actually have more brain power because, when you're not breathing, you're basically suffocating yourself. And that leads to panic, and it just becomes a huge spiral. So in terms of that deep breathing, it will calm you down, it will make you more present, it will increase your brain power. And you don't have to worry about trying to match your breathing to your phrasing. This is probably the biggest question that I get. Should I match my breathing pattern to how I'm playing my phrases? No. On the harp, you don't have to do that. Now, as a singer, you do. And singers have a huge advantage in this, actually, because naturally they have to breathe in order to get the tone that they want. So singers, you guys are well ahead on this point number 3 of breathing. And you may find as you start playing that you stop breathing and you start holding up. Just keep trying to come back to it. Keep coming back to it. If you find that you're not breathing, don't worry. Don't panic about that. Instead, just say, okay, breathe. And it's going to be the deep breathing from down here, not the high type thing. So really. So even try that now. Put your hand on your belly here and on your chest. And as you're breathing, check that it's actually your hand that's on your belly that's coming out. If it's your chest that's coming out like that, then it's, right away I start feeling panicky doing this. We want this up here to be fairly still, actually, because it's down here on the bottom. This hand on your belly that does the breathing. So now you're going to find your center. This is step number 4, up the 7 steps of centering. So when you find your center, that is something that's basically either on the top or the bottom of your belly button. Maybe it is your actual belly button, and it's kind of your whole locus of power. It's where you tend to feel things a lot. Like when we say we have a gut feeling about something, it's often from your very center. Now, in terms of finding your center, some people find it confusing at first. So what I recommend, it's a couple things. First thing you can do in your chair is basically suck in your stomach and see where is the point that really gets sucked in the deepest. That's kind of your center. So your center is actually right in the center of your body. It's not on the outside, it's actually right deep inside your core. Now, if you, that doesn't work for you, then you can do the hula hoop. Let me show you how I do that. So you basically stand up and you are going to imagine that you're hula hooping. And as you're hula hooping, you start to feel that center inside you and start making those circles a little bit smaller until you almost feel like you're circling around a tiny little pea inside your body. Okay, I can feel it now. So experiment with that. The center is also very connected to both your solar plexus and to your sacral chakra. So those are both associated with creativity and will, with self-power. So these are wonderful things to bring to bear when you're coming to your practice, when you're coming to perform. You know, honestly, for anything in life, you can use the 7 steps of centering before anything. So let's do a recap of what we've done so far. The very first thing is you establish your focal point. So that's where you start to narrow in your focus. You start visualizing, what do I want this, whether it's practice or performance, to go like? And you literally imagine in real time playing in your ideal way for that moment. What does it feel like? What does it sound like? And in that way, you're really setting up a lot of success. You're priming yourself basically to actually perform that way. So the third step is breathing, checking in with your breathing. And remember that your breathing needs to be way down here, and put your hand on your chest and your belly and check that you are actually moving the belly hand, not the chest hand. Then we find our center, and I gave you a couple exercises on that. That can be a tricky one at first, but once you find it, wow, you know, you just, you crave going there. You crave acting from that spot. There are also some YouTube videos that you can see with Tai Chi and stuff like that that are showing how to find your center. So there are numerous ways to find it. It's always the same place. So many routes up the mountain, the same mountaintop. And then the next, step number 5, is you're going to progressively relax from head to toe. Because we know from the harp that you actually play from every single part of your body, maybe even slightly outside your body too. So you're going to check from your very crown down to your pinky toe. And what you're doing as you're scanning is you're looking for any points that feel a little bit tense or blocked. And what you do is you simply breathe into those spots. You're already breathing. It's step number 4. And you breathe into those spots. You don't necessarily command yourself to relax. If you do that, it's been shown that sometimes people actually tense up even more. So instead, you're already breathing as part of step 4. Simply breathe into those spots. It might feel a little constricted or a little unaware. And at this point, you might start feeling like you're getting kind of hot, like you're heating up, like a lot of energy is coming into you. So then from the next point, we've got step number 6. This is one of my favorite ones. You're going to embody with all your senses what it is that you want to do next. So this is a lot like step number 2, which is visualize, but it brings your entire being, all your senses into the picture because you're ready for it now. Your body is awake and you've found your center. You're ready to go. So you are going to smell the song that you're playing. You're going to taste it. Of course, you're going to feel it. You're going to see it. You're going to hear it. So with your entire body, you really literally embody what you're going to do, whether again it's practicing or performing. And at this point, you're so engaged with your piece or with your exercise that you're going to see incredible results from that. And then our final step number 7 is where we connect everything. We project it out, project the energy out and bring it back in. So let me explain that one a little bit more. Now, again, I have my center going. And when I'm going to play an external instrument, I need to actually project the energy out. I don't want to keep it just inside here. I actually have to let it come out. So I feel this engagement, this type of energy moving and embracing the harp. It can even be embracing the entire hall that you're playing in. So it moves out and then it comes right back in to you again. And you really do want to keep that energy coming back in from yourself, because otherwise if you're just giving it out, you're going to find yourself getting very exhausted. So you project out and then you let it come back in this incredible, like a golden circle in many ways. So right before I start, I'm going to connect. Now I'm starting to project. I'm including my harp in the energy. And I get my hands on the harp. I have a new string. Let's see how it's hanging up. Not bad. And I'm letting that energy come and sweep into me. I'm letting the sound. We're lucky as harpists in that we have our sound coming back to us. I'm letting that sound be the energy that's feeding me again. So I get into this incredible feedback loop. I'm not just projecting out that way. I'm also drinking it in. As I offered out the energy, I brought it back in. Now, for some of you, you might enjoy this additional part of the picture. When you are doing that connect and project and bring it back, you may also want to connect with external energy. And that is what I do. I actually visualize a big sort of golden amount of energy that I'm drawing down from the heavens. And then I imagine it going all the way down to the earth and connecting with all that fiery power. and coming right back to my center. So I feel completely, pinned, engaged, massive energy. So I recommend, trying that on for size. Maybe it sounds a little strange to you at first, but I think it's an incredible way to connect with all the energy around us in a very healthy way, in a non-distracting way. And sometimes you'll find maybe you're tired and you're coming to your practice. This is an amazing way to energize yourself, is to visualize that energy coming from above, straight through into you, all the way down into the core of the earth and back. And then you feel very, very engaged and powerful. So that is a quick overview of the 7 steps of centering. Let me give you just one more run through of it very quickly now. So the very first thing to do, you establish your focal point. That's where you're starting to bring in your focus so that all distractions are quieting down. The next thing we do is we visualize a positive outcome. What is it that you are feeling like and sounding like? Put it in present tense as you're playing. Next thing, breathe. Check in that you're doing the deep breathing from way down here. And then we find our center. And I gave you some exercises on how to do that. That's all a very personal thing. Everybody's center is somewhere different. Sometimes you'll feel as sort of your center of gravity even. So then we progressively relax from our very crown to our pinky toe, breathing into anything that feels a little constricted. And now, almost like step 2, but going further, we embody with all our senses what it is that you want to do. So you hear it, feel it, see it, taste it, smell it. So what? Smell a song. How are you going to do that? If it's a song about the sea, you smell that spray. If it's a song about spring, you smell the flowers. If it's a Christmas song, you're going to smell the Christmas trees. Smell is one of our most emotional senses. So by recruiting it, actually, I think you get to go even deeper into your artistic interpretation. And then finally, it's the connect, project, and circle it back. So I hope that was helpful to you. And if you have any questions, please just post them below, and you'll be able to come back and watch this video whenever you like. It will be on our Virtual Harp Summit page. And 7 steps of centering. The one thing, if I were only allowed to teach one thing, this would be it. So I hope you enjoyed, everybody. Thank you. It's great to see you all. Let's see who's here, actually. If I can find it. I think I can. I can't see. I'm still getting used to Facebook Live, but I'll be able to see next time. Bye. Bye, Becky. I see you're there for sure. Bye.